Now, I don't think most women have a discipline problem. I think we're exhausted from constantly having to start over. Think about it. You get into a groove, then life happens. Your kids or a family member gets sick. Work gets crazy. Your hormones start acting like they pay rent. The car needs repairing. Your mama needs you. And the budget gets blown because everything in the grocery store costs more than a car payment. And before you know it, you're standing there telling yourself, well, I guess I'll start over on Monday. I've done it. I've started a new budget on a Monday, ordered DoorDash on a Tuesday, and acted like the entire month was ruined by Wednesday. I bought the planners, the workout clothes, even the water bottle, and the groceries with all the healthy intentions, just to find myself 6 days later saying, well, here we go again. Now, hey, friends, if you're new here, I ain't gonna be rude. My name is Dr. Nina. I'm a licensed psychologist, a full professor, a wife, and a mama. I'm a woman who's lost over 100 pounds in my early 20s, maintained that weight for nearly 2 decades, then lost another 40 pounds after 40, after pregnancy and entering perimenopause. And I'm still on my little journey. And after spending all this time studying human behavior and living through a whole lot of life myself, I've realized something that's completely changed the way I think about consistency. The people who look the most consistent, they've simply gotten really good at coming back. And baby, that set me free. Because failure stopped being a diagnosis and it became data. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? I started asking, what is this season trying to teach me? And I tell y'all, no crap, everything changed. So today I want to share those 6 shifts that finally helped me to stop living in that constant cycle of starting over. And it's not because I magically became more disciplined, but because I finally built a life I could actually return to. And before we jump in, I want to hear from you. What's one thing that you've restarted more times than you can count? Or if that's a little bit too personal, or if you don't know what to type, put, I'm still coming back. Or Nina, I'm working on it. Because by the end of this video, I hope you realize maybe the strongest thing you've ever done is not staying on track. Maybe it's just refusing to quit.
Dr. Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
1, we got to stop treating every interruption like a failure. Do you know what actually changed my life? I stopped calling every interruption failure. And I'm not talking about procrastination, y'all, because that's what I used to do. Miss 3 workouts? Okay, with a whole month in the trash. Spend a little more than I planned. I guess that budget, that's gonna start next paycheck. Eat 1 cupcake at the office? Well, since today is ruined, might as well go all out. Girl, eating 1 cupcake does not require a full emotional funeral. But that's exactly what we do. We take 1 interruption and somehow it turns into a whole identity crisis. And as a licensed psychologist, I see this all the time. Our brains naturally like all or nothing thinking. It's a cognitive distortion where we automatically view things as complete successes or complete failures, with very little room in between. If we can't do something perfectly, our brains whisper, why bother? But here's what life has taught me. A little secret for you. Life is designed to interrupt you, especially as a grown woman. Family members get sick, your kids get sick, parents get older, job changes, hormone shift, that AC maybe gonna give out one day. Your husband or your partner texts you from the grocery store asking you where their ketchup is, or maybe it's just your Instacart carrier. And you know, all while they're standing right in front of the ketchup. Interruptions are not evidence that you're inconsistent. They're evidence that you're alive. And here's the little shift that changed everything for me. I stopped trying to become somebody who never fell off. I became someone that got really good about getting back on. And there's a difference. Because consistency isn't built in the days that we do perfectly. It's built in the months when everything goes sideways. Now when I miss a workout, I don't say I'll start Monday. I ask, what's the next opportunity I got to come back from this? Maybe it's tomorrow and maybe it's this evening. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk instead of an hour at the gym. Because returning always beats restarting every single time. 2, stop building systems for the version of you that doesn't exist. Can I lovingly call us out for a second and even pull on them edges a little bit? We ain't gonna pull them out. We build routines for a woman with absolutely nothing to do. She wakes up naturally. Nobody needs breakfast. Nobody forgot their appointment or their science project. She drinks lemon water when the sun gently kisses her face. Girl, who is she? Because I don't know her. I used to create these beautiful little schedules. 6 a.m. workout, meditation, journal, protein breakfast, read 10 pages, answer emails, stretch, drink my water. Meanwhile, my natural life was over here laughing. As a psychologist, one very big thing that I've learned, habits are more likely to stick when they actually fit your real environment, not the one you wishing you had, okay? The less friction that your routine creates, the more likely your brain is to repeat it. And I had to learn something that quickly bruised my little overachiever ego. I wasn't failing the routine was failing me, because I had created a system for 28-year-old Nina. Not wife Nina, not mama Nina, not full professor Nina, certainly not YouTube Nina, because you know I love my girls, and not perimenopause Nina. Those women have completely different needs. And I wonder how many of us are secretly grieving a version of ourselves that doesn't even exist anymore. Believe me, I've been there. And that one took me all the way out. Maybe you're still trying to use the same strategy that worked before children, before caregiving, before that promotion, before the divorce, before the layoff, before inflation started charging us luxury prices on basic groceries. Maybe the problem isn't your disciplines is. Maybe your life has changed, but your systems never did. Now I ask myself a completely different question. Not what's the perfect routine, but what can I realistically repeat on an ordinary Tuesday? Because your life will never be changed by one perfect Monday. It will be changed by a bunch of ordinary Tuesdays that nobody is sitting around clapping for. You know, this actually leads perfectly into today's sponsor, Growth Therapy. One thing that I've learned is not just a licensed psychologist, but a woman who has lived a bit of life now, is that sometimes the biggest thing standing between us and consistency, it isn't another planner or productivity app. It's the story that we've been telling ourselves. I'm lazy. I never finish anything. I just don't have it. I don't have the discipline. Those stories become heavy, and sometimes they're simply not true. That's one of the reasons I've genuinely loved partnering with Growth Therapy for so long. As many of y'all know, I'm a licensed clinical and school psychologist. And while I'm speaking today in my personal capacity, not on the behalf of my employer, I believe that therapy is one of the greatest investments that we can make in ourselves. Not because your life has to be falling apart, but because sometimes you just want better tools, more clarity, more peace, and more support. And that's exactly what I appreciate about Growth Therapy. Their mission is to make quality mental health care more accessible, not just during a crisis, but for everyday growth and helping people to build a stronger foundation over time. What I also love is that you get to choose the therapist that's right for you. You can browse thousands of real licensed, vetted therapists, read their bios, credentials, specialties, and even search things like identity, language, gender, faith, or availability. And if your first choice isn't your best fit, you can simply choose someone else. They also work with more than 125 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. And there are no subscriptions. You simply pay per session. Therapy should fit your life, not the other way around. And for those of us whose schedules are all over the place, which is probably half of y'all watching this video, you can even search for therapists who offer evenings, weekends, or even early morning appointments. So if therapy has been on your heart, or you've been thinking, maybe it's time I had someone in my corner, this is your sign. Simply scan the QR code on your screen or visit growththerapy.co/Dr. Nina to find a therapist that fits your needs. Thank you again to Growth Therapy for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get back into it. 3, you're secretly addicted to becoming a new person. Now let me get comfortable and tell y'all where I truly found myself getting in trouble. Every Monday at one point in my life, I was auditioning to be a completely different person with a completely different life. This Monday, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. I'm meal prepping, no spending, gym 5 days a week, reading before bed, meditating, levitating, drinking a whole gallon of water, keeping a spotless home, calling my mama more, checking every email. Girl, who was this woman? Because she clearly wasn't raising a toddler, working full time, running a business, keeping a healthy marriage, ordering toilet paper so that other people have choices in the house and don't have to use paper towels, even though you know I use a bidet. I wasn't trying to build better habits. I was trying to become a completely perfect person overnight. And that there is exhausting. In my profession, I know that one thing that we crave, our brains naturally prefer familiarity. Even when we're growing, our brains don't love dramatic identity shifts overnight. They're expensive. They take energy, attention, and constant decision making. That's one reason why those giant new me plans, they feel exciting on a Monday and then impossible by Thursday. You don't even make it to Friday. And I finally realized something. I wasn't failing because I wasn't disciplined. I was failing because every goal felt like an emergency. Lose the weight, save the money, fix the house, heal your childhood, grow your career, be a better wife, be a more present mom, do it all. Now, no wonder we burn out. We're trying to renovate the entire house, when maybe today all we needed to do was fix one window. And that changed everything for me. I stopped asking, how do I become a new woman? And I started asking, how do I take care of the woman I already am? Y'all, those are just different questions. Because here's what I discovered. I wasn't chasing growth. I was running from the feeling that who I already wasn't enough. That'll preach. Once I stopped trying to earn my worth through productivity, consistency got so much easier. Working out stopped being a punishment. Saving money stopped being deprivation. Rest stopped feeling lazy. I wasn't trying to prove I deserved a good life anymore. I was taking care of someone who already did. And that, y'all, is a whole different kind of consistency. 4, stop confusing self-abandonment for starting over. Let me tell y'all something that really broke my heart. It wasn't realizing how many times I'd started over. It was realizing how quickly I abandoned myself. Think about it. You missed that one workout and suddenly you talking to yourself like somebody you don't even like. Here you go again. You never stick with anything. Why do you always do this? Girl, could you imagine saying that to your daughter? And if you don't have a daughter, even if you're a dog mama, auntie, something, could you imagine that? You know your best friend, your sister? Absolutely not. But somehow we think talking to ourselves like that is going to make us more disciplined. And as a psychologist, I can talk to you about something I know about from, decades of research out there. Shame is a terrible long-time motivator. It might get you moving for a day, maybe even a week. But eventually shame makes people avoid the very thing they care about because every attempt becomes another opportunity to feel like they failed. I know that feeling. After I had my baby, my body changed, my schedule changed, my energy changed, and perimenopause just kept on showing up like an uninvited house guest. There were days that I couldn't do the things that the previous version of me could. And instead of adjusting, I judged. Until one day I thought, Nina, why are you talking to yourself like you're the enemy? And how do you expect your body to respond to somebody who doesn't seem to actually like itself? That question changed me. Now when I have an off day, I don't abandon myself. I coach myself. I ask, what happened? Not what's wrong with you, because those are two different questions. One is designed to create shame, right? The other creates solutions. And if there's one thing I want you to take from this video, it's this. You don't need to become somebody that never messes up. You need to become someone who refuses to leave herself behind when she does. 5, the women who look the most consistent, they have one secret. They keep their promises smaller. Now, before you go clutching your pearls, hear me out. I used to think that consistency meant making big promises. I'm going to work out an hour every day. I'm never eating out again. I'm saving half my paycheck. Girl, the lies. The lies. Who approved this budget meeting? No wonder we keep disappointing ourselves. I was making promises based on my ambition, not my actual capacity. One thing that I've learned over the years, both personally and also professionally, is that confidence isn't built because you make huge promises. It's built because you keep the little ones. That's how trust works, not just with other people, with yourself. Every time you say, I'm going for a 10-minute walk, and you do, your brain makes a tiny little deposit into what a psychologist calls self-efficacy, your belief that you can follow through. And that belief matters because people who trust themselves, they're much more likely to keep going after setbacks. That's why I stopped trying to impress myself. I started trying to trust myself. Some seasons, my promise was to live 4 days a week. Other seasons, the promise was, Nina, just put your shoes on and walk around the block. And do you know what? That counted. Because consistency isn't measured by how impressive your routine looks. It's measured by whether your future self knows she'll show up for me. And friend, that's the kind of confidence that money can't buy. 6, the comeback skill, not a personality trait. Can I leave you with the biggest lesson that life has taught me? I think all of us at a time or two have believed that consistent people have never got off track. Ever. In fact, I've had people think that about me. The lies. And at some point, I started thinking that those people had some magical level of discipline that I just didn't. After all these years, after losing over 100 pounds, maintaining it for about 20 years, having a baby at 40, navigating this Perry life, building a career, building a community, do you know what it's taken for me to realize all this? I've learned that the women that seem the most consistent, they're not the ones who are never leaving the path. They're the ones who know the way back. Now, that's some Hansel and Gretel for that. Okay? And that right there will preach all by itself. Life is always going to give you what it can give. Life. You're going to have seasons where work takes over, where your health changes, where your money gets real tight, where grief shows up. Real life. Where you're taking care of everybody else before yourself. That's not weakness. That's being a human. The difference is, though, you stop treating every detour like a dead end. You stop waiting for Monday. You stop waiting for January. You stop waiting until you feel like yourself again. You simply come back. On today, I needed that myself. Maybe today your coming back looks like drinking one more glass of water. Maybe it's transferring $15 into your savings. Maybe it's taking that walk. Maybe it's making that therapy appointment you've been putting off. Maybe it's apologizing and meaning it. Maybe it's resting because your body has been begging you to. It all counts because consistency isn't measured by perfection. It's measured by your willingness to return again and again and again and again. And So if nobody has told you this lately, I'm going to tell you. I'm so proud of every version of you that kept coming back. Even the one that cried. Even the one that quit for a while. Even the one that thought she had ruined everything. Because she didn't. She was just learning her way home. And maybe, just maybe, that's been your superpower all along. Now, if that conversation empowered you, share this with another lady who's been a little too hard on herself lately. And if you're not already a part of our community, I'd love to have you here. You see, it's all good in our hood. We had these grown woman conversations every single week, sometimes multiple times a week, with honesty, a little humor, and a whole lot of grace and a little sass for that ass. Okay, so until next time, keep showing up, keep coming back. And I want you to remember this. You don't have to be perfect to change your life. You just have to refuse to quit on yourself. All right, y'all, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Dr. Nina signing out. Peace.